In this demonstration, we're going to be looking at how I Spy is played, by showing the setup and start of a game, the first 3 rounds, and the scoring phase. The game is set up in 10 easy steps. First, supply tokens are distributed. Supply tokens represent a spy's material resources. Each player starts with 3, and then 1 token is placed on each of the supply cache on the map. Supply tokens are used for recruiting assets, which can be done in capitals. The asset deck is shuffled, and the assets available for recruitment are placed face down in London, Berlin, and Budapest. The politician tiles are shuffled and placed around the map. Every few turns, one group of politicians will be revealed and take effect, but right now they're all face down. 4 influence points are given to each nation. The amount of influence a nation has determines how many power points it receives during the scoring phase. The 6 power markers are placed on the power track. The player whose nation is the farthest on this track by the end of the game is the winner. Each player receives a set of 12 action cards. Each person's cards are identical, and there are 2 cards of each colour, that is, 2 cards for each of the 6 competing nations. Along with their action cards, players also take a few of their associated control tokens, as well as 1 pawn figure, which will represent them on the map. The initiative card, which determines which player goes first, is given to player 1. That's Miss Smith. Now comes the most important part. The 6 alignment tokens are shuffled, and each player gets 1. This tells that player which nation he or she is secretly working for. Mr. Reid's alignment token says that he's working for the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Now that they've received their alignments, they each get to mark one of the politicians in this group with a control token. If a player has a control token on a politician, this means the player can look at that politician. However, this group of politicians will never take effect unless they are moved into one of these spots. The politician that Mr. Reid controls is Edith Cavell, a humanitarian and war criminal. Her effect is to give 3 influence points to Britain, 2 to Germany, and 1 to France. Since these are all potential rivals of Mr. Reid's alignment, Austria-Hungary, he is quite content to let Miss Cavell remain in the shadows. The round marker, which keeps track of how many turns have gone by, is now placed on the first space. This means that the game has now begun. In each turn, a player must perform 3 actions, each of which will provide some benefit for that player and also cause a nation to gain some influence points. 2 of these actions will consist of playing an action card, and the third will either be dealing with an agent in a capital, called a contact action, or picking up a card used on a previous turn, which is called a retrieval action. In addition, a player may enter a single capital once during his or her turn. After doing all that, the spy puts their used cards aside, and then it's the next player's turn. After each player has 3 turns, a scoring phase will occur. In a scoring phase, all the cards that the players have used, and not picked up, will be scored for influence points. Then, the 2 politician tiles in this area will be turned over, and they will take effect. Finally, power will be awarded based on how much influence each nature has at that time. Let's begin.